guys, welcome to this week's edition of the Coffin Hero Show, taking you through what's new into the store this week in terms of graphic novels and collections. Just not long back myself, obviously we're in London there for the weekend for AEW All In. What a great event. I'll not bore you with the details here. But back in the store for the first time since last Wednesday. So the delivery this week, Chris has processed it for me. I must admit, I'm not 100% sure what's in here because I'm, as I say, just back through the door. But let's take a look anyway. I know there's one or two sort of themes running through this delivery. You'll see a lot of Red Sonja graphic novels, for example. We decided to make that a new product line in store, printed by Dynamite, so a lot of collections there. There's top-ups for existing series that sell so well, things like Something's Killing the Children, and one or two of the Archie horror titles as well. So anyway, let's dig in and see what we've got. So we'll kick things off with a nice big edition, which is the Absolute Batman Arkham Asylum. This is the 2024 edition of pretty much one of the seminal works in comics history. Grant Morrison, Dave McKean, absolute masterpiece about Batman and his trip around Arkham Asylum, and basically the villains of the piece are sort of trying to say whether he deserves to be there as well, instead of just putting criminals there. So as I say, I know there's a lot of Red Sonja here, so we kick things off with the Ballad of the Red Goddess. So this is from Roy Thomas, Esteban Maroto as well, so nice hardcover there. So this was an original graphic novel. Roy Thomas, of course, so well known for Conan, turning his hand to Red Sonja. We have Red Sonja Volume 1, Scorched Earth. So this is one, I think it's Mark Russell is writing on this one, Mirko Kolak on art. We have Red Sonja Volume 2, The Queen's Gambit. Once again, those are some beautiful covers actually, it looks very Eduardo Risso. This collects Red Sonja's. So basically it's the 2019 series, I should say, Mark Russell is doing. So Volume 1 was 1 to 6, Volume 2, 7 to 12, as well as the Halloween special. And then we finish off Russell's run, I'm guessing, with that Volume 3 called Children's Crusade, and this one with a rather fetching Jay Lee cover. So that's issues 13 to 18, so that's the complete run there. We have Red Sonja, Black, White, and Red. So this is a recent one. This is obviously something that they were doing quite substantially in comics. Marvel were doing it, DC of course do black and white, or red and blue, or whatever. So anthology based, lots of different stories presented in that black, white, and red artwork. We also have Black, White, and Red Volume 2. So it's a Lucio Prio cover on that one. This one looks a little bit like Victor Santos, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But yeah, this collects Volume 2. Tons of great creators involved with this one. Ron Morris, Phil Hester, Frank Thierry, Jonathan Lau, etc, etc. Next up, there's these lovely omnibus volumes, which is for Red Sonja, She-Devil with a Sword. So, for example, this has the likes of Michael Van Oeming, Mike Carey, Mel Ruby, and more. Cover galleries including Alex Ross, Jim Lee, John Cassaday, etc, etc. So this is the Omnibus Volume 1. This has issues 0 through to 18. There is Volume 2, which has, issues 19 to 34. And then there is a Volume 3 as well, which covers 35 to 50. So all the Red Sonja, She-Devil with a Sword needs are catered for there. Next up we have Red Sonja Worlds Away Volume 2 by Amy Chu and Carlos Gomez. Randomly Volume 2, we should have Volume 1 as well. Wasn't in the delivery, I should say. I've mentioned as well doing top-ups for things like Something Is Killing the Children. So just some volumes back in stock to make sure we have the full run. So we have Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 6, and Volume 7, which means all volumes are back on the racks. Next up we have Spider-Gwen Smash. This was from Melissa Flores and Enid Ballon. This collects the 4-issue miniseries, which also includes appearances by the likes of Dazzler, but also has the giant-sized Spider-Gwen as well. I mentioned Archie horror books as well. So first of all, we have Vampironica here. So imagine Veronica, but as a vampire. The Archie horror series is great. I'll get to my favorite title in a second in there. But it was just a really fresh new way to bring Archie comics to a bigger audience, I think. And book 1, and as I say, is your starting point. And Vampironica New Blood was the follow-up. So really, really good stuff what they've done there. And all very much, you don't need to have read an Archie comic before in your life. You can jump straight in. Next up, we have Venom the Epic Collection, The Hunger. So this is Volume 7 of the Venom Epic Collections. This covers 1996 to 1998 and contains a whole pile of mini-series such as The Hunger, Tooth and Claw, On Trial, License to Kill, Seed of Darkness, Sign of the Boss, The Venom Agenda, and Venom Finale. Next up, another Marvel, we have Vengeance of the Moon Knight. So this, of course, is the Jed MacKay and Alessandro Cappuccio continuing on with their Nightwing Moon Knight saga. First 4 issues included here with that gorgeous David Finch cover. A really good run from the last couple of years I really dug was Wildcats. A little bit of an update for the classic 90s series. Matthew Rosenberg was writing, Steven Segovia on art. This contains all 12 issues, as well as stories from Batman Urban Legends 1 to 6 and Wildstorm 30th anniversary special as well. Pretty complete and pretty awesome. Really enjoyed that run as it came out. Next up, we have the next volume of Wolverine, so Sabretooth War Part 2. So continuing on what was a really class 10 issue event across the end of the Wolverine run, just before we go back to a number 1 this year with the new creative team. So this collects Wolverine 46 to 50. And I'm pretty sure on the racks over there we've got the first part of Sabretooth War. Next up are top-ups for one of, if not my favourite graphic novel of all time, along with Dark Knight Returns. This is Y the Last Man, book 1. So the Vertigo section, I've been making sure we have the complete run of Y the Last Man in this trade paperback softcover format. So back in stock, as I say. Zorro was a release that came out last week, but we were missing, these are Comic Store exclusive covers for this one. So it says on the back here, limited to 1,000. They just didn't arrive, so we have the normal covers on the racks there, but then you also have the direct market Comic Store exclusive cover there. So 1 box down and a bigger one to go. So what do we got? So kicking things off, we have my favorite Archie horror book, which is Afterlife with Archie. Written by Roberto Aguirre-Sacasa, art by Francesco Francavilla. This is basically The Walking Dead in Riverdale. Just great stuff. So much fun, amazing artwork. Jughead is Patient Zero. It's genuinely horror based as well. It's not just a case of, let's just have a little bit of fun with the Archie characters. Like, there's proper horror in there. Next up, one of my favorite books of the last year, which is Avengers Twilight. Chip Zdarsky, Daniel Acuna. This is the complete 6-issue miniseries, all collected in softcover. Deals with an older Captain America living in a society that he feels disenchanted with, that he feels maybe beyond saving, but you know what? He may be older, but he's going to try. Sounds a little bit familiar to my favorite Batman graphic of all time, but nonetheless, a brilliant book. Next up, DC are starting to do new printings for the Tom King run on Batman, so I want to get these back on the racks. I'm a big fan of this run. It's a long run. It was 85 issues plus, once you include annuals, one-shots and all the rest, but I loved it. This is volume 1, which kicked it all off. This contains the first 6 issues, as well as the Batman Rebirth number 1 one-shot. Next up, we have Blade. This is volume 2 of the more recent series, so this contains issues 6 to 10. Blade Evil Against Evil, Brian Hill, Elena Casagrande. Great stuff there. Another Archie horror tale. This is Blossoms 666. This is to do with Cheryl and Jason Blossom basically being, the Antichrist. Again, really good stuff and really highly recommended. Next up, we have the 4th book in the Kanto hardcover reprint series coming through Dark Horse. So this contains the series Landhard, which was, weirdly, it's Kanto 3, but it's the 4th book because there was a one-shot, or sort of a book with all side quests and tie-in series and stuff like that. But yeah, Drew Zucker, David Embor, brilliant stuff. We've always been big fans of that title, so we love pushing that. We have Archie Horror Presents Chilling Adventures, the anthology collection. Look at that gorgeous Robert Hack cover. This goes into everything from Madam Satan to Jinx Holiday. Loads of really good stuff again and again, high on the horror content. Speaking of which as well, we have the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina Occult Edition. I can't tell you just how adult and darkly horror this is compared to the TV show. Now, the TV show, it had its moments, but trust me, nothing is as dark or as adult as this. This is very much not a for kids type read. Absolute class. I've read this a few times, really enjoy it. Next up, we have back in stock Fables Compendium 1. So Fables is split over 4 compendiums in total. So all 4 are now back on the shelves. Just had to get number 1 back there. For you X fans who are lamenting the end of the fall of the House of X, and then the Rise of the Powers of 10. So you have your complete mini-series, or maxi-series, I suppose, once you include everything. Follow the House of X 1 to 5, Rise of the Powers of X 1 to 5, and material from X-Men number 35 as well. So the conclusion to the Krakoan era. Next up, I've been getting in quite a bit of Firefly recently, so another book here from the Greg Pak run. This is volume 2, Big Damn Hero Sir. So Joss Whedon is involved with this as well, and Greg Pak and Dan McDade on art. Maybe a slightly lesser known book, but a brilliant book, is Ed Brubaker and Marcus Martin's Friday, the First Day of Christmas. This originally started as a digital comic, but they started putting them out in print. So this is book 1 for the Image series. There are 3 of those in total. Next up, the complete Godzilla, Monsters and Protectors. So this collects everything. Gods and Monsters and Protectors Rise Up, All Hail the King, and Monsters and Protectors Summer Smash as well. So a lot of love for Godzilla stuff at the moment. Next up, we have Heat Seeker, a Gun Honey series. So this has been a pretty adult sort of spy series. I've really enjoyed Gun Honey. Heat Seeker was a spin-off series. Just fun stuff, you know, it reminds you of sort of cheesy 80s action movies, and that is not a bad thing. Invincible Compendium 1 back in stock. Robert Kirkman, of course, Corey Walker, Ryan Otley. This does not need an introduction. You all know the show, but the comic is better, believe me. Next up, we have another of the Archie Horror series, which is Jughead the Hunger. We have volume 2 and volume 3 of this. Volume 1, I'm guessing, is on back order because I did order all 3. Next up, we have Justice League, the world's greatest superheroes by Alex Ross and Paul Dini. So Superman, Batman, Shazam, Wonder Woman, the JLA. These are epic tales of DC Comics' most famous, colourful and iconic characters. Through the amazing talents of Emmy and Eisner Award-winning writer Paul Dini and Eisner Award-winning painter Alex Ross. Yes, I will be getting that myself. Next up, we have Power Girl Electric Dreams. This is the more recent series for Power Girl. Leah Williams, Eduardo Pansica, and Marguerite Sauvage on art. This contains issues 1 to 7 of the ongoing Power Girl series. We finish off with a book that should have been here last week, but didn't. I'll leave you to work out why. Philadelphia gets its second hardcover. This contains issues 13 to 24, as well as the tie-in series Elysium Gardens. So another great horror book from the last few years. So that's everything going on the racks this week. I am going to go and start doing pull lists now. Just a heads up on some of the pull lists, and I'll talk about it in my video later as well. There was a huge shipment of comics that got damaged, that water damaged apparently, coming over from America to the UK. So DC titles this week are going to be a little bit reduced. We don't have enough to cover pull lists for a lot of titles. We're waiting on an update from Diamond. So what I'm going to do is any of those titles that have come in, I'm just going to hold them back. And once we get all the titles in, then they'll be available for pull lists, because I don't think it's fair to assign, you know, these guys to have pull lists, but these guys not to. So I'm just going to hold them back behind the counter until we get that update. And hopefully there'll be a new batch on the way from the US, and it'll be sorted sooner rather than later. That was a great email to receive while away in London. Oh well. Anyway, that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope it's proved useful. I looked like a really busy week last week, so thanks to everyone who came through the doors, and hopefully I'll see you throughout the week. So until then, take it easy.